All right, Big Bang. Today is Monday. It's August 16th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports Snake Draft Monday. Our guest of the day on Zoom is Frankie Borelli. Frankie, welcome to the show. It's about damn time, Frankie. I'll be honest. It's about damn time.
I know it. Eddie, I'm so excited to be on here. This is probably one of the more nerve-wracking things I've ever had to do at Barstool, for being honest. I mean, you guys hold this to such a high standard. It's crazy. The arguments, the debates on Twitter, I've always loved to watch it from the outside. I've yet to come on because our schedules have just been so crazy. Every time I think I'm going to come on, something comes up, and today is the day. I'm very excited. Thank you for having me. Big fan.
So you guys, listen, you guys, like Frankie Borelli has turned down our invite more than anybody in the history of the
How
show.
many times?
Oh, what the fuck?
At least 3, right, Frankie?
No, I think it was probably 3 miscommunication on schedules where it's like, dude, it got to the point where Eddie would text me and be like, "Hey, Frankie," and I'd respond, "No, like I know you're gonna ask me for tomorrow, and I'm away with Dave or doing this. Like I can't do it."
He's too busy
So
leading the league in scoring at the hockey fest. Like that was.
Yeah.
Is that true, Frankie?
I
I think Frankie potted 4 in the last game.
Yeah, but I think Rudy ended up with the most goals.
No one thinks you're better than Rudy. Nobody thinks that.
All right,
I'm just
good.
trying to give you a little credit that you put some pucks in the net. Yeah.
Found the net. It's not pretty, but there's no pictures on the stat sheet.
Now, Frankie, I got a question for you.
Okay.
This is probably the second question I've ever asked you in our existence as coworkers, and it's the same question I asked you the first time. Do you know what it is?
God, this could
No,
be
I
anything.
don't. This horrifies me.
How's John Tavares doing?
Okay. Well, I mean, John Tavares hasn't won a playoff series, and we've won like 9 of them since he's been on Toronto.
Do you even
Maple
care
Leafs,
about
so
that anymore?
What's the basis
I do
of that?
not care about John
Dave, why
Tavares.
is that funny to you?
I mean,
Tell the
we were
story.
walking out at, I think it was HQ1, actually.
Do you remember this, Frankie?
I
And
now do. It's like
I
yeah,
had
do.
never said a word to Frankie in my life.
Dude, we don't know
And-
anybody at this point.
Yeah, we
not
don't
really
know.
anybody. Yeah.
We weren't full time when this happened.
No,
No,
we had
I-
just signed the deal. We don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it was when Red Line Radio got picked up,
Right.
but we weren't full
September
time.
1 of like 2018.
So I'm like, "Hey, Frankie, how's John Tavares?" And like, I thought he'd like bust my balls back, and he just had this like death stare into my eyes.
And I
And
think
I
you
thought
just
he wanted
said
to kill
fuck
me.
you, and you got in the elevator and you just stared him down, and then the door shut.
Yeah,
I swear.
It was a sore subject in 2018. I'll give you that. But at this point, everything's coming up roses for the Islanders. I mean, we haven't gotten the cup yet, but if you want to compare the stats between, I mean, Tavares has all this stress in Toronto, and he got all this money. The fans are starting to turn on him a little bit. So
I do
things are going
wonder
great.
if you'd have that cup if Tavares stayed. Like he.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This is Frankie. They're trying to get in your head. This is draft strategy right now. Don't let them do it.
this is
His coach was Doug Waite and Jack Capuano. Like, imagine he had a coach of
Seriously.
fucking Barry Trotz. I don't want to go into it.
Capuano, I always say that he's the guy who looks like he cuts his own hair. Like he's
Capuano was living in Garcino's basement as our head coach. He was living in the GM's basement because he didn't want to like have a house or something.
yeah,
It was
that,
insanity.
and then he was like you could tell that he just reeked of the bar from the night before every single day. Like he was the dad at the tournament who just got a little bit too lit at the Hooters down the street from the tournament bar.
God, it's bad times.
Okay, before we get into it, I won the movie soundtrack
Did
draft,
you?
so congratulations.
Did you?
to me.
Vacate it immediately.
You should have to vacate.
If everybody's cheating, then nobody's cheating.
Wow.
So I'm
This is-
unvacated.
That's what
I had a
This is-
6% lead before
This
the
is-
hijinks went down. Let the record show.
I'm kidding. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have to talk to Jeff, maybe see how Lights Camera Barstool does it. The poll was out of control. Someone cheated for Dante, then someone cheated for Carl, then someone cheated for me.
Nobody cheated from me.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're gonna do, but we got to figure it out. Today's draft, though. What are you gonna say, Dave?
I mean, it's just some one random asshole out there ruining it for everybody, and that's what pisses me off. Pisses me off the most.
1,000%, 1,000%. But we'll get it figured out, hopefully. Today's draft, though, as you saw in the title, it is a nice fancy dinner draft. A nice fancy dinner. It'll be split into 5 subcategories: super salad, appetizer, entree, side, one part of the experience. Easy enough, right?
No, but I think you should emphasize
I do
fancy.
fancy, yeah. So we're thinking fancy, okay? White tablecloth, like you know the drill. This is where it gets tough because I do kind of want to establish 3 ground rules, but like I don't know, like should I do this or should we just let the chaos ensue?
Well,
Because there's
It
3
depends
things
on
that
what-
we're going to get held up on.
express. Your
I think I
concerns.
know one of them right off the bat.
One of them, I don't think bread is an appetizer.
It is not.
No.
Bread?
Yes.
That's fair. That's not an appetizer.
No,
You're
that's-
telling
yeah.
me that in a fancy food draft, one of you guys would take literally like the poorest person food of all time, like bread. Everybody eats bread.
Someone might.
Well,
though.
no,
But no, I had a nice
Carl. It
ass-
doesn't have, it could have been the experience, the way
Yeah.
that they present the bread. You know what
Well,
I mean?
now if you want to give your experience and explain you like the way the bread and the experience around the bread, but as far as like a food item, like
The
who had bread on their
You don't
list?
have to order the bread, so I don't think that should count.
Exactly. That's exactly how I was going to. If you have to order off the menu, that's the appetizer. Bread comes with the meal.
Right.
All right.
What else is catching
And
you
don't
up,
waste
Ed?
your dinner on bread, and don't waste your draft on bread. I would say that.
We should have a bread draft.
That's
Pumpernickel.
That'd be good.
Fucking-
Overrated.
Number
every
2.
single time.
You just like saying
I don't
pumpernickel.
think
I know.
you
Sourdough.
Potato bread is number 1.
Sourdough.
This will go back to the appetizer draft. I don't think you should be allowed to draft the seafood tower.
Holy smokes!
Because it's like a sampler platter.
Well, I'll tell you what was on the list.
I gotta be honest.
Eddie,
I know it was.
Eddie,
I'm sorry.
that's my round 1 pick one. I mean,
I knew. It would
and I
be.
got a seafood tower story.
This is what I'm saying. I don't know what the people want. The people bitching me. Oh, Red Ed, get control of the draft. Get control of the draft. They're like, I know that's going to be chaos when someone takes it. So I don't
how
know
is
what
that
you guys
chaos?
want to do.
You can't get a seafood tower for under $100. Like how it's as fancy as it gets.
I know, but also like you should be able to. You should.
You want to be able to pick particular
yes, you
items
should
off
pick.
of that.
Yes, you should take like the best part of the seafood tower if that's your point. That's my point.
All right.
You get what I'm
All right.
saying?
I do.
Yeah.
I
So
do.
I don't
Ed.
know. We'll see. The people let us know.
Was
if they
that
like
3
this.
things?
I had one more, but I forgot it. So I
Okay.
guess if that comes up, then
Oh,
it comes
How
Yeah,
specific
Eddie
of a
forgot.
meal do you have to get?
That's
my-
it.
my
That's it.
question.
That's my third
yes,
thing.
that was my question.
It's not a combination meal, okay? So if you want to mix this cuisine with that cuisine, like I think that's fine. You're not making one meal.
People are gonna be
All right.
idiots about this.
So
when they
you're
vote.
saying it could be
Yes,
a
that's my
Mexican
third thing.
dish,
Thank
an
you.
Italian dish.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
I think that's the way it is, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No?
not how what I have in my
I
head,
had it
but
in my
that's
head as
fine.
they were judging it as like, this is what I'm having for dinner.
Oh, see, no, I think I would go all over the place.
Thank
What
you.
is-
Yeah, I think it's
Because
like
I thought if you want to go all over the place and we can have an entree draft, we can have an appetizer draft. We already did that.
yeah, but I think it's one of those things where it's like you take the number 1 overall on the board. Like don't let the one be like,
Okay.
oh, I have this entree. It doesn't really pair with that side, so I'm not going to get it. Like I think you should just take what you think is the best. The fuck is that?
I need to see the categories again. I was
This
trying.
guy's just pulling my list.
Is that
What are the
bother you?
categories? And why didn't you text the group the categories, by the way, prior to?
He did. All gas, no brakes.
It's experience.
I didn't get-
soup.
It's just
yes,
like,
you
what do you
did.
gotta do? What do you
White
gotta
Sox
do?
Dave just consistently just
They invented
lives
technology
life
for this.
with his head in the sand.
And
He
then
used
blames
it.
you.
I know. It's always.
Yeah. So do you want me to tell you the categories again? And
I would
You
love
do
that.
need an
This guy has
assistant.
no
that
idea.
would-
He's going to be flying by the seam of his pants. It's going to be great.
It's one side, one entree, one appetizer, a soup or a salad, and then a part of the experience.
So you have nothing prepared, Dave?
I never do, Ed. I come into every one of these the exact same way.
And
I
then he wonders why he's got a 30-week losing streak.
And then
I don't.
But it's the people's fault that he has a 30-week losing streak.
I don't.
All right. Frankie, social media, Danny has number 1 through 5 behind his back. What number is it?
3.
3. No, Carl.
4.
Chief.
2. This is pressure. I will take. I'll sit in that 3rd spot.
All right.
A little
Dave,
squeak.
1 through 4.
4.
1. Taking 1 overall.
Wow.
We taking grease. Big follow up.
1 through 3, Frankie.
3.
3.
Carl.
1.
2. I'll go 4.
1 or 2, Frankie.
1.
1. No.
Holy smokes.
All right, what do you want? 2nd or 5th?
I'll take the 5th overall. Let this play out.
All right, Frank, you got 2 overall.
Like I'm walking out of the tunnel of a fucking major sporting event.
All right. Before we kick off, though, I do want to say that today's draft is brought to you by Roman. Now that the world's opening back up, many thrills are on the horizon, whether you've been in a relationship for years or just getting started, or excited to get back out there and meet new people. When the moment comes, you want to be ready. You want to be Roman ready. Dave, what does that mean?
It means always having a Roman swipe at your disposal, Ed.
No, Dave, this is about having your dick hard today.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, via Roman and their products.
There you go.
Their ED medication specifically is what we're talking about, correct? So you're out to a nice dinner, the wine's flowing, you take your date home, and all of a sudden you got a little issue. Make sure you take those Roman ED pills so you're Roman ready.
Thank you, Chief.
You're
Much
welcome.
prepared over Dave once again. To get these, go to Roman.com. GetRoman.com, GetRoman.com/Barstool. Now to talk to a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care. It's discreet, free 2-day shipping. Go to GetRoman.com. What's so funny?
I was thinking, I had an idea. Keep finishing.
All right, go to GetRoman.com/Barstool today. If you're prescribed, you get 50% off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer. Roman, ready. Go do it. Take care of the ED problem if you have it.
So this might be a little too aggressive of a campaign, but I think it would be hilarious if we like got a couple girls and they were like that David like hooks up with. Like we could do testimonials of like before and after. Like,
Would you be down?
That's a lot too aggressive.
Yeah,
And
I would say.
I would not consent to that.
and she's like, when Dave
Like
put
his
the
dick
swipe
hardness?
on. Yeah, like to go like behind the camera and be like, this is what it was like to have sex with White Sox Dave before he started using Roman swipes.
Wow.
I mean, it'd be a thrill ride for him no matter what. Just watermelon tits all up in my face.
Holy smokes.
Eddie,
Lots and lots of watermelon tits.
say it.
He's a foul boy.
How am I a foul boy right here? Carl just proposed a content vertical where you interview girls before
That was
and
like
after.
a marketing thing. Yeah, for Roman.
I mean, it would be like Barstool Sports Real Sex. That was a show on HBO for a
That'd
while.
be-
Yeah, I know. I used
Unbelievable.
to stay up like past my bedtime to
We
watch
have
it when I was
no-
12 years old.
I was-
Yeah, like
yeah.
we have no entry into that yet. You could be the pioneer. You could be the first guy to crack that.
Why
for us.
don't we have you do it, Carl?
That'd be great.
I'll do it.
That'd be
Would
great.
love that.
Down.
Cat house, Dave.
I'm in.
Bunny Ranch. All right.
White Sox Dave confessions.
A nice fancy dinner draft. Number 1 overall. Back-to-back weeks. I don't know how often that happens.
Yeah. And this is one more question. This is
yeah.
you're going out to dinner.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I got to do it. You're going to take it if I don't take it. I'm going to the super salad. And I'm taking French onion soup.
That's why I didn't pick second. Because I knew you were going to do
Yeah,
this.
you're smart. I'm taking French onion soup. When I think of a nice fancy dinner, I think of the white tablecloth. I think of a steakhouse is one of the places I think of. And I really think it adds to the experience. You know what you're getting later on if you get a good French onion.
Yep. And your top French onion?
In the city
Yeah.
or just overall? I got to
Well-
update the blog. In the city, probably, it's definitely Gale Street is
Yeah.
my number 1. And then Elwood's is really good. And then chain-wise, there's some good ones too.
Okay. I just wanted you to shout out Gale Street.
All right, yeah.
Patrick Kane's favorite
No, I'm
place.
happy you have that because you are the French onion expert. Like I just like to retweet when I just get pictures and retweet it, and it started as a joke, and now I probably get 10 to 15 pictures of French onion.
You gotta curb that. I get about 10 to 15 a day of McDonald's hash browns, and I'll retweet like 1 or 2 of them, and then I'm like, that's it. I don't want to turn this into
Only
a
a good
McDonald's
one?
hash brown.
But I want the record to show that
Twitter
Eddie is
account.
the French onion expert in the room.
I don't know. In your eyes, like, is that too high? Is number 1 overall proper? Is
So
it
let's talk
appropriate?
because I think you picked it because you thought I'd pick it, and I was gonna pick it. I was gonna try and get it later. I don't know if it's the fanciest soup. It's certainly the best soup.
It wasn't my number 1 soup on my list.
No. Okay.
No.
I think there's a couple that could be debated there.
A few?
Yeah, I think so. Right.
There's definitely 1 salad and 1 soup that are higher than a French onion. And I don't even know if I don't know if I'm gonna pick either of those because I have the second pick. Yeah.
Yeah, you're up. You're on the clock.
People love French
I gotta
onion.
say,
That's a good
1-1
pick.
overall. That's fucking absurd.
He had to do it.
I
though.
had to do it though.
Yeah.
Like Chief said, like I've wrote a fucking 1,500 word blog.
It's
on
your
this.
thesis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if I
He
like,
wouldn't let me have it. I know.
I know, and I know it's not coming back to me, and I knew I don't think there was any other way where he would have got 1 overall if I didn't take it. I would have had to pick 2 or later, and he would have taken it. So
Yep.
And I would have taken it in the second round on the
Correct.
wrap round just to make you look bad.
correct. So I had to take it, and I genuinely do love it. It's one of my favorites. So all right, Frank, you're up, number 2 overall.
All right. Now I'm gonna go with something that's stereotypically just a fancy order. It's not something I particularly would order. It's not something that I enjoy, but it's something that when you think of this word, you just think fancy. And the word it's an appetizer, and it's caviar. I don't know that you can think of caviar and not think as much money in the world. You're thinking someone's ordering it. They got the monocle in their eye. They're ordering all this snobby caviar. I've tried caviar before. It's not for me. It's a little bit too much for me. I
Really?
don't like the consistency.
Okay.
That's my order.
I'm confused. So you're ordering something for your fancy dinner that you don't even really like?
Listen, if I'm trying to is that part of the draft? Is something that we enjoy?
Well,
or is
I
it- what
do.
is
I
the
love
most-
this because you know that's a fucking chalk first round pick. Caviar strengthens
No,
your list.
I mean, listen, the draft is any way you want to frame it. Some people draft for like, this is what I like.
I've ordered caviar before to try and look cool. It's something I've done. I've been out of place before, seeing caviar on the list. It's however much money for this little thing of caviar on a little bit of a biscuit. I'm ready to go. I'm going to order it. I don't enjoy it, but it's something that's fancy.
So I had been putting off trying it like my entire life because the idea of fish eggs and the way it looks is gross. And we did a video at with a guy named Johnny
I've seen
Stramaglia
this.
at Supreme Lobster, and I tried caviar for the first time. And I gotta say, I loved it. Like, it was worth the hype. I haven't had it since because it's so crazy expensive. But like that,
Thank you.
I had a bunch that day, and I thought it was awesome. Like it lived up for me personally. It lived up to the hype.
Yeah, the consistency of the eggs for me, I don't know if it's too much in my head. I've had it a couple times. Like I said, I've ordered it before. It's very salty for me, but it's just super expensive and super fancy.
Yep.
It's interesting though. I like this. Like you said, this is the difference in the draft. Like I took something that definitely probably shouldn't be number 1 overall, and you took something that is good, but you may not like it. So it's like that's the difference here. That's literally the difference every day that we argue to no end. But sometimes you just take what you think is the fanciest. So, and he did that. Have you ever had it, Dave?
I have a long time ago. I remember it being insanely salty, not really liking it, but I was also like in high school.
I've never had it.
Yeah, you should try it.
I'll try
Yeah.
it. I just haven't had the opportunity.
You got it next time you're out to dinner with Dave. You'll be like just sneaking in order caviar.
It's so expensive.
Hey, does he get it, Frankie? Do you know?
Dave, I don't know that I've ever had caviar with Dave.
Yeah.
Well, if he's
Oh,
getting
you know
the bill,
what? We once got that like $2,000 pizza, the gold flaked truffle pizza at like Industry Kitchen in New York, and that had a bunch of caviar on it with gold truffle flakes.
There
Yeah.
you go.
That doesn't sound very good.
He took 2 bites and tossed it in the river. It was like each bite was like $1,000. It was outrageous.
Was it good or no?
It was bad. There was no sauce. It wasn't real. It wasn't a pizza. It was a caviar topped cheese truffle pizza. It was gross.
Yeah. Do you like the pick, Dave?
I mean, the first 2 picks are just so. I would have never in a million years thought they were going to go both of those directions. So, depending on how the rest of the draft goes, maybe I'll like it. But like as it sits right now, no, not at all.
All right. Caviar off the board. Chief, you're up.
all right, I think I'm going to go with the first maybe true chalk pick here. And I thought it should have gone 1-1. I'm thrilled to be able to get it at 3. Just a beautiful, rare, bone-in ribeye with like a pepper crust. Like that is like that bone-in ribeye. When you see that coming out sizzling like that, when I think of fancy dinners, I'm thinking more steakhouse. And that to me is the best cut. I know there are other maybe pricier ones, but I love a bone-in ribeye. And I can't believe I'm getting it here. Like
That's the exact direction I thought this was going to go.
yeah.
But can I make an argument against it?
I don't think you can.
I think I can. I think there's a lot of cuts of meat out there. I think there's a lot of cuts of meat out there.
This is the best one, in my opinion, and I did not want to risk it. And I have, I feel good about the way my board is going to come together. So I'm happy to get bone-in ribeye here.
Yeah, you're getting value.
For sure.
You're getting value for sure.
But there,
does Chief now own steak across the board now?
No.
You could take a different cut.
Yeah, you can take a different cut.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's one other one that I think is obvious, but I think this is better.
You like the fat, huh?
I like that little marble ribeye eye. Yeah, I think that adds to the experience.
Does anyone have it? I mean, don't say the steaks because we don't name picks, but does anyone think that this is not the number one steak?
I think many people will.
I don't, but at that point, it's just a matter of preference, and I would never argue against that because it's your taste.
There is a cut out there that's generally a little bit more expensive and is a little bit more tender, but I think you get more bang for your buck. Your bone-in ribeye is probably going to be 14 ounces, whereas your other cuts are probably going to be a little bit less.
All right. A bone-in ribeye is off the board, third overall. White Sox Dave, you're up.
That, like I said, that's the exact direction I thought this draft was going to go. I can't believe a steak didn't go number one overall.
You're not going to take meatloaf, are you?
No, absolutely not. I'm going with my favorite cut of steak. I'm going with the porterhouse. So I do love, for a ribeye, I have to have a bone in if I have the option. So completely agree with Chief there. It's just that with ribeyes, it's a little too fatty with me. With the porterhouse, you get the filet, which is not a lot of fat, and then you get the ribeye on top of it. So it's a nice blend. So that's why I'm going with the porterhouse. That's my favorite cut. And like Chief said, they bring it out. You get that fucking when it's coming to the table.
Love that.
Love that sound. You get, it's just the best. Like I went to Bavette's for the first time ever last week, and I got a porterhouse. Had to get it.
Nice.
Undeniably the best name of a steak.
I mean, there's the popular one now.
I like it. There's one that can compete, I think, in the honor. We'll talk later.
Okay. Porterhouse just sounds like I'm getting a fucking porterhouse.
You're sitting down to do some work.
Like Chief said, ribeye's typically around 14 ounces. Porterhouse is more 22. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if I'm going to a fancy restaurant, I'm trying to get as much bang for my buck as possible. If I'm dropping, $200, $300, $400 on a meal.
Yeah, are you though?
Well,
if you go to a fancy restaurant, I think that's bang for your buck scenario.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
What do you mean?
I think the price at and again,
I'm talking about the amount of meat to the amount of money you're spending.
Right, I understand what you're saying. I think they really jack up the porterhouses, but I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, that's the exact
bone.
direction. So when I knew I was picking fourth, I'm like, there's no fucking chance I was gonna get, because my next pick would have been a bone-in ribeye.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the third pick, if I would have had to taken it, would have been what we all think it is. It's just like 5-6 ounces, and no thank you.
Well, all right. You like these, Frankie? Where are we at now? Do you have buyer's remorse on caviar after seeing bone-in ribeye and porterhouse go back to back?
After seeing your guys' reactions to caviar, I think I could have gotten it later in the draft.
It was not on my board.
It was not on my board either.
The difference is that I know at least these two guys, they were like they're only going to take shit they like. Where like Carl likes to be more strategic and be like, hey, I think this is undeniably a
no, caviar is like the fanciest food in the world.
Exactly.
I mean, you say caviar, you're like, ooh, this guy's
the
fucking
theme.
rich, which I think is what we're trying. I don't know. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, which is no fault to your own. But all right, porterhouse off the board. Carl, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to take my number one fancy soup. It's not my number one overall soup. It's my number 2 overall soup, but it's my number 1 fancy soup. You would only get the soup at fancy restaurants. You wouldn't trust it otherwise. I'm taking Lobster Bisque. Now, that said, I love a good Lobster Bisque is served to you in a carafe, poured out of a jug, piping hot in front of you, and it's just the little remnants of the lobster. Delicious.
You don't like the chunks?
No, I do like a.
I don't
like
know
a
if I've
chunk,
seen a
but-
pour out. That would be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever had good lobster bisque.
Oh, I love Lobster Bisque.
Frank, you like
It's
it?
as good as it gets. It's
Yeah.
as good as it gets.
Was that your number one
That was
soup?
my number
Yeah.
one soup. I just couldn't go back to back soups. Like we couldn't have soups 1 and 2 in round 1. But boy, that was high on my list there, Carl. I mean, a lobster bisque is nothing better. I mean, I've ordered lobster bisques before where 12 to 14 ounces of lobster are stuffed in there. It's falling out. It's essentially a full entree. I mean, you can really get crazy with lobster bisques. So we have a good lobster bisque at Borelli's. It's my favorite go-to starter at Borelli's Italian restaurant. Not that Borelli's is fancy, but that's my go-to. We have a great lobster bisque.
How would you explain Borelli's on the fancy scale?
That's a family restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, little league teams coming in from the baseball fields next door. We've got, $20. You can get full 3 cutlet chicken parms that come with a side of pasta. I mean, you're not getting you're not writing a check to go to Borelli's Italian restaurant.
I like that. I think that's a big distinguishable thing there, where people are like, we're not fancy, we're family.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm dying to go to Borelli's.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that. I saw you and like Tommy and all them. You guys went out there. What was it, a week or two ago? Can we do that the next time we go to New York? Can we like plan a night and do that?
We're doing Italian nights, and we're going to do them at Borelli's once a month because we had so much fun. You guys are absolutely invited to the next one.
Awesome.
I would love to go.
You just got to dress
Mountains.
stereotypically Italian.
Perfect.
So
we're in.
jumpsuit, maybe throw a chain on.
Dave might not do that though.
Yeah, I got a long-standing beef with the Italians.
What does that even mean, dude? What does that even
It
mean?
means I don't like them.
Why not?
What's there to like about an Italian?
Give us an O.
Oh, I'm
It's a bad
joking.
week for
I'm
the
joking,
Italians.
frankly.
It's a bad
Frankie.
week for the Italians with Cuomo. So I mean, we're taking a couple steps back, but we'll bounce back.
Yeah,
dude,
how you
what
handling
was
it?
that, dude? What the fuck? Did he
I
say
still don't
that?
know if he made that quote, if he said that, or was that just paraphrasing by Fox News? Like, they'll sometimes
Yeah.
be like he meant
All
this.
the media, for sure.
Was yeah, dude? Does
Like,
anybody know?
I haven't seen him actually say that. I've just seen all the headlines that he
Say
said.
what?
I'm not perverted. I'm Italian.
Do you get handsy with girls like inappropriately, Frankie?
That's
Absolutely not. Like, that doesn't come with your heritage, is being overly handsy in the state of government.
That's what I tell people when they say the Irish have small dicks. I'm like, that doesn't come with your heritage. Actually, now that I think about it, probably does quite a bit, but I won't let them believe that.
why. If you feel like your penis size has been attacked.
Well, I'm guilty by association.
All right.
Okay.
I am 50% Irish, so you don't know which way my penis falls.
Good point.
Probably right in the meaty part of the curve, right, Frankie?
All right, lobster bisque off the board. Wow.
Off the board, lobster bisque. Good pick. Good pick. Carl, you're up again.
So I think this is a good pairing. It might be aggressive. I'm really stuck on this, but I'm gonna do it anyways, just because I think to me it is the fanciest entree. It's always listed dead last. It's next to fucking market price. I'm taking surf and turf. You don't like it?
I like it, but this is another thing I should have brought. I don't like it. It is an.
You want me to
entree,
take it away?
I would not veto that whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
You have an argument.
It's
but-
a special, though. It's a special. Is it not?
No, I think you can get that pretty much year round.
I know.
No,
but
I don't
what
want to
mean
take
is, like,
surf
you
and
sit
turf
down,
and
you-
violate the spirit of the draft here.
No, I don't.
You
No,
look
no,
up
no.
at the chalkboard and they have surf and turf. It says market price next to it. It doesn't seem like it's something that's written in ink on the menu.
So does that mean the two items that are involved in the surf and turf are off the board?
No, because I think
No.
I mean Dave and I already both have steaks, so like you could take another steak.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it.
I mean, I love
come
it.
around on
I would like yours over both of theirs. So I think it's a good pick.
Disagree. And I'll
But the
explain.
problem I run into is I'm double lobster, but lobster bisque is like, I think in their own individual categories they're very fancy. But now that they're paired together, like I know the criticism is going to be, Carl's heavy lobster through the first 2 rounds, and I didn't plan on it, but
I think that's fine.
well, they had the run on steaks.
Yeah,
I could have gone off entree and done entree later, but
yeah. No, I think it's an awesome pick. You don't like it? Why don't you like it?
No, I do like it.
Okay.
I think it's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's
fine.
I
I
always
personally am just not a big seafood guy, so I don't think I've ever ordered it.
I love seafood, but I am like hesitant to get it when it's not like super fresh. And I feel like sometimes the surf of the surf and turf is not doesn't live up to the price tag, I would say, in my experience. Preparation, how you prepare it is huge.
I think it's an awesome pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Frankie?
it's not a bad pick by any stretch. It just wouldn't.
I like the pick. You can get it at more, your traditional family steakhouse. It's not necessarily something that makes me think expensive or fancy, because I think you can get like a shitty piece of meat and a lobster tail that's been frozen for a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, it
yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean. Sometimes they'll just pair those two. It's not the top of the line. I'm not sure that people that are, making 7 figures are ordering surf and turfs. I think they go for things a little bit more specific. But I do like the pick.
There is a fancy ring in the name, though.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
also
That
Yeah.
adds some luster to it. They they polished it up.
part of
But
it.
Eddie's part of it makes me think that it almost is such a fancy ring to it that they allow the poor people to think they're ordering something fancy.
It's also
Let me
that's a
get the
good-
surf and turf.
That's a good point too, Frank. And it's like that old Spurrier college football cliche. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. If you have 2 items on your plate, you don't have one elite. And I think that's
Yes.
kind of where you get into the surf and turf category territory with that.
How you feeling after this?
Well, I'm operating under the assumption I'm at a fancy ass restaurant and they fucking killed a surf and turf. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
True.
That's what the voters
I'm
have
not
to
drafting
think,
an
too.
entree and being like, well, it's like
You're not at Red Lobster.
I'm sitting
We're all
down
getting
and-
on Yelp for Carl's order. Be like, wasn't that good?
This is crazy. I'm at Smith and Walensky. They're giving me fresh stuff. I'm in the fucking Boston Harbor right now, eating the freshest lobster.
Totally.
I like it.
Yeah.
But I am heavy lobster. I will admit that. I'm not.
Lobster bisque is
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm very
It's
heavy
awesome.
lobster.
All right, Dave. Back to you.
I'm going with the second most rich sounding. This will be an appetizer of like a fancy food draft or just a fancy food menu. I'm going with lobster escargot.
Yes.
Yep.
We had it at
Chiefs
Chicago.
face. Chiefs face.
We had it at Chicago Cut, and I just said I'm not
had
a
it with
huge.
you.
Yeah, no.
It was unbelievable.
It was the best seafood I've ever had in my entire life. It was
$37
out of this world.
It was
good.
it's so good, Carl.
And not only that, I want you guys to know just how fancy we're talking about it. You guys ever heard of the
Chief's
rapper
face. Chief wants
Biggie
to
Smalls?
murder Dave right now.
Biggie Smalls?
Chief was just tweeting about it. You're aware of that, right?
I swear to God, I had no idea. Literally
Dave.
not. I swear to God, I will take that lie detector test right now and I will pass it. I did not see a Chief's tweet about
Chief,
that.
speak.
I mean, look it. I've been. I'm so angry with him right now.
I
Because
swear
this
to
is a guy
Christ.
who he doesn't like seafood. It's like one of the things.
Eddie?
This is
Eddie will back me
This
up.
is Garth Brooks all over again.
Eddie?
Where he doesn't like something and then he's just like, but I'm going to take it anyways. And
Eddie?
he's going to take the tickets to Garth
Did
Brooks.
I like that
and he's
lobster
not even,
escargot?
and he's not even fucking pronouncing it correctly.
Escargot.
It's not lobster escargot. It's lobster escargot. It's one fucking word. It's not. You're not even doing it properly. You're forfeit that.
Whatever.
pick.
No.
Forfeit it to me
No,
right
I'm
now.
not. I'm
you
not.
don't appreciate. You don't even know how to pronounce it.
I can
God
fill you in
damn
with
it.
some real millionaire shit. Escargot, my cargo, 16T, Swift Lee. We're going
Lobster
Biggie,
cargo.
Biggie,
Lobster
hypnotized
cargo.
lyrics. Lobster cargo.
I tweeted
Lobster's
a picture
cargo.
of it on July 24th.
Okay, weeks ago. You think that had nothing to do with my pick. Eddie, how much did I like the lobster escargot?
We all loved it.
Oh, I'm sure you
I
fucking
was
did.
shoveling it down my throat.
That's selfish of you.
And like I said, escargot is just a rich sounding food. It's got the little French silent T and everything.
Oh my God, I can't.
Do you
Lobster
believe what you're saying,
escargot.
Dave?
No, he doesn't.
Eddie,
Listen. I will defend him. You know, I give Dave a lot of shit. I will defend him. It stole the show.
This dish
and
with-
we got him and Dante went last summer, and it stole the whole show, the whole dinner.
That
Right, Dave?
thing with the
Oh,
caramelized burnt cheese on the top is just it is the best thing maybe in the entire city. that
Have you ever
can
had
order.
it, Frankie?
I've had escargot.
It's-
I've never had the lobster escargot or that one word thing that you guys are saying. But escargot was high on my appetizer list. I went between that and caviar, so I do have to give this one to you, White Sox Dave. That's a great pick. That's something that's really going to resonate with the viewers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frankie.
Good pick, Dave. Good pick.
So I thought you were talking about like he was tweeted about it 10 minutes ago.
Oh, he tweeted about it a couple weeks
Watch
ago.
Ken Jack use my tweet for Dave's pick in the graphic. Like that's probably what he'll do.
I mean, he could use my tweet because I tweeted about it too. When Dante, Eddie, and I went to Chicago Cut.
I
and,
fucking hate you right now.
I mean, I might
hate
have
to
had
see
the
it,
lobster
Carl.
escargot and might have been talking about it prior to you ever even tasting it.
You think that was 2 weeks ago? Was the first time I ever had it?
There's a chance.
Are you an idiot?
There's a chance.
No, there's no chance of that.
All right.
All right. After this draft, I'm gonna go and pull
Can I
up.
make my
No,
pick
shut
now?
up, shut up. I'm gonna go and pull up all the tweets about lobster escargot between you and me.
Good luck. You won't find it because you still can't even pronounce it or spell it or anything. So good luck searching that.
Lobster's cargo.
Oh
whatever.
my God.
Whatever.
Fucking
you
say
know,
it. Give me that pick.
I don't speak fucking French, okay? I'm sorry.
Lobster's a French word now?
Escargot.
It's not escargot. All right, I'm making my pick.
How do you
It's
pronounce it, Ed?
It's lobster. Now I'm fucked up because of you guys. Sorry. It's lobster cargo.
Thank
Lobster cargo.
Yes.
you. Yeah.
But how do you say just the
This is going
singular
to be the
without
sequel
the
to the
lobster?
dust off. It's going to be a lobster cargo off. They're going to see who had more tweets. All right, lobster cargo's Dave picks. Chief,
Well,
you're
you
up.
should have picked it first. You could have
Well,
got bone and ribeye later.
I'm so used to you with your fucking raccoon taste, I didn't think that you would take it.
Well, that was a bad assumption.
Yeah, it was.
So whose fault is it?
Whose
Whose fault
still
is it?
yours because you don't really even know how to pronounce it or appreciate
It doesn't matter. I know how to eat it, and I know it tastes fucking unbelievably good. It might be
How
the
do you eat it?
like I fucking
They
shovel
actually
it in
cut
my
it up
throat.
for you. They put it on bread. It's fucking nice.
It was
So you know how to do
the
that?
best appetizer I've ever had in my entire life.
It's awesome.
Eddie and I were like fucking spooging our pants how good it
It was really good.
Why didn't you take it in the first? Like,
Because I wanted
was
my
gonna
entree.
I was
first.
gonna
I wanted
take it
my
here.
my number one steak cut in the first round.
Were you going to take it next, though, Chief? Or
Yeah,
you were
it
gonna
was
take
my
later?
next pick.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, where do you go from here?
Now I got to go pivot to side, and it's
You
like
draft your burrata. Stay
we're
true
not
to the
giving
heart.
away picks, idiot.
I mean, that's your brand though.
Yeah, well, we're not giving away picks. I may or may not take it at some point. I'm not sure. You would probably try to take that in the next round.
Do it.
No,
I can't. As much as I would like to.
take the pork chop.
Can't.
I already have an entree. I can't take a pork chop.
He's on full tilt right
No,
now.
I'm just angry because you can't even pronounce the thing that you took, and it was my next pick.
And guess
you can't
what?
pronounce it.
None of that matters. I
It
could have
should.
pronounced
It
it
should.
like even worse than I did
Yeah.
because all
How do you
that
pronounce
matters.
it, Dave?
Lobster cargo.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks. All right. Well, I'm going to side, and it's not gonna. It's like boring after that pick, but I'm just taking mashed potatoes because no matter what, mashed potatoes always play. I love mashed potatoes, meat and potatoes on the side of your ribeye. You have the mashed potatoes. It's great. I love mashed potatoes. Fuck you, Dave.
I think I'm gonna write a blog about how I prefer my mashed potatoes to have the skin in them. You don't even peel the potatoes.
Shut up, Dave. Shut up.
Just keep the skin in there. That's how you put some hair on your chest. Real manly shit.
This is now.
You need to be locked up.
Why?
Sorry.
No, like he
Matt.
knows I did a blog about that last Thanksgiving with the skin on, the homemade mashed
Oh, did
potatoes.
you
with skin.
really?
Yeah, that's why
Oh,
he's saying
I
it.
didn't-
I
That's
didn't know
why-
that.
Yes, you did. You fucking liar.
I don't know what you're
yes,
talking
you
about.
did. Yes, you did.
Just how I prefer my potatoes.
Okay, all right. Fuck off, Dave. Mashed potatoes. Fuck you.
I do agree they're better that way, though.
Yeah, great. Frankie, your pick.
Wait. Any other word on mashed? I don't know if it's the best form of potato, but it is the classic
I think
form.
I think it is the best form.
It's the safest form, too, I'd say.
What do you mean safest?
Like, you're going to get, like, the baseline's always going to be more solid than...
like
like
if
a-
you're
yeah, it's like if you're
but
going a different potato.
Well, I don't want to. Yeah, never. I'll ask at the end of the
This is a me thing, but at a fancy restaurant, you're getting a nice juicy steak. I like the little, the little
blood runoff.
Yeah,
into
the
the
blood
potatoes.
runoff into
Yes,
the
I
potatoes.
agree.
Oh,
That's
that's-
very good. Very good.
Is mashed your number one potato, Frankie?
It is.
It is.
It is, but I don't know that it was my number one
Side.
side, or not even like when we're talking about being fancy. I don't know if it was the fanciest potato. I don't know if it was the fanciest potato.
They usually bring them out in the individual dish, and they somehow put like a little shape to the top of the potatoes.
Yeah.
So they're like, they dress them up with the presentation. It's not just like you're
True.
scooping it out family style on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like
But,
the top of a troll's head.
Yeah, and sometimes they have like they brown it a little bit too. Like, I don't know if they put it under the broiler. They do, like the fancy restaurants. They make mashed potatoes fancy, and I just love mashed potatoes. So
I like the pick.
Yeah, thank you.
Frankie, you're on the clock.
All right, I'm gonna go with something that I've ordered before with Dave. Actually, I think we both got it at a table. A lot of my experiences with really fancy dinners have been with Dave, it seems like. But this was something that you've heard about, maybe on the news. You've seen the name float around, and it's Wagyu beef. It was a Wagyu steak. That Japanese marbled steak, you've heard stories about how tender and how buttery and how different it is. You see the price next to it. You can't believe it's on the menu that you're at. You can't believe you're at a place that's on the menu.
You don't even have to chew it. You don't even have to chew it. It just kind of disintegrates.
Melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
You find out like what happens to the beef, like how it even gets to the Wagyu, like the stuff that they're feeding the animal. It's stunning what goes into this thing, and it's my number one steak on a fancy board. I do like I would never, or I've had it once in my life, right? And it was like the most expensive thing that's ever gone in my mouth.
Your tab is already $600 on your meal.
I know. So that's
what's a Wagyu steak cost?
A 42 ounce at RPM steak runs you $250. A 36 ounce runs you $210.
Dude, Wagyu, if you ever have the opportunity, like I said, so same thing with
It's
him.
awesome.
I went to with Kearns from the Churning Group. I went with him to Vegas, and they just laid out like 5 Wagyus.
Jesus Christ.
And it was like, I'll never experience that again. You know,
I hope you do.
yeah.
I hope you do.
It was unbelievable.
There's some butcher shops that sell it, but you can get like a 1 pound strip for like $100 or something.
I wouldn't even trust myself because I feel like
it's very stressful. I've done it twice. It actually is like the whole day you're just like, I'm cooking that steak today.
And I just don't like. I like to cook, and I just don't think I would be able to do the preparation well enough to for me. I would just be like, I fucking ruined this.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
You're
like,
better.
I think when you order a Wagyu, I think there's a murmur around the kitchen. I think people are like, oh boy, like chef's got a Wagyu on like going right now.
They like bring
and
them.
they're like, and they're keeping an eye on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I have a day, chef.
Everyone's doing their own job, but they're keeping a side eye on the Wagyu, like making sure that comes out. You know, the way it has to come out.
He's spooning that garlic butter over it, just like tenderizing a little bit more.
So my only question is does Frankie have to specify a cut
of Wagyu beef?
Because ribeye's off, porterhouse is off. Because Wagyu's like dry aged, wet aged. It's a category.
I don't know enough about it. It's Japanese,
I don't either,
correct?
to be quite frankly.
That's like
So,
all I know
like-
about
To be
it.
quite frank.
I'm
And it looks
assuming
very
when
fatty.
Chief takes a bone in ribeye, that's a wet aged, not a dry aged.
But that's similar to surf and turf. Like, you don't know what turf you're taking.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure
Jumbo
surf and
shrimp.
turf
Yeah,
is
that's true.
generally fillet
Yeah,
and a lobster
generally,
tail.
yeah.
I don't. So Wagyu, just Wagyu beef.
Is
Yeah,
that-
that's kind of like, you know, I was basically saying if you're going up the list, like there is going to be something Wagyu. If that hasn't been taken yet, that's what I want on my
Okay.
board.
Yeah,
It could
you're
be
good.
any cut.
Wagyu. That's fine.
I think you're good.
It's just he's totally out fancied me. I don't know what I can't. I'm like, I don't know what the
Oh, you get the doors
standard
open.
is. Good pick, man. That's fucking
Yeah,
fancy.
good pick.
Thank you.
If people are just judged off of fanciness, like I know people didn't love the caviar pick, but that's a tough one.
I actually I wouldn't have taken it, but I like it. I like the pick, and I like caviar.
All right, it's to me. I'm gonna go appetizer again. I think it's the most classic appetizer, and I think it's shrimp cocktail.
Slam dunk.
Yeah. It's, I guess, a polarizing appetizer in some respects, depending how many people you go with. Depends on how many shrimp they throw you, right? Sometimes they're fucking as big as your head, which, like, the variance of shrimp cocktail size is absolutely fascinating if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Do you like the jumbo prawns?
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, I do.
They're
too.
nice.
I do too.
Some places have really good cocktail sauce. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to the place in Indy, it's like a hot one. Like a horseradish is like St. Elmo's or some shit.
Oh, St. Elmo's
yeah,
Steakhouse.
St. Elmo's. Yeah,
Dude, it
yeah.
literally burned
Pretty
my
sure
nose
that
off.
place.
It's insane.
Well, you got
love
fucking
horseradish.
Sally
No,
knows.
Dave. This is not like a me thing. This is like everybody there was like
crying.
Yes.
Nose
To
running.
me, shrimp cocktail is the college senior. Every scout in the room respects. All teams would have drafted if they came up in the right spot. I don't think anybody's rewriting their draft for like everybody who wouldn't want shrimp cocktail.
It's an
on their
O-lineman.
team. I mean, it's just a great player.
It's an O-lineman.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't think I've ever ordered it at a restaurant.
I've never
wow.
have. I don't really like cocktail sauce.
It's
though.
also, you never ordered it. It's all like yourself, but you've been at a table. It's also like the most widely agreed upon.
I feel like that's a thing that's just out there at like dinner parties. More like I know it's on I've been to dinner parties where that's like served, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not my. I know it's popular. It's just not my. It's not my favorite.
If the
You
five
get
of us
those
were
long
out,
shrimps, the long shrimps coming out of the ice. It's almost it's in the cocktail glass. When they actually, I know what Chief's saying, where they'll put the little small mini shrimps all in a circle, and they'll throw the nice plastic container of the shrimp cocktail sauce in the middle. But man, if you go to a nice fancy joint, they will really dress up that cocktail. You take it out of the nice shavings of ice. It's ice cold. The shrimp will go all the way down your throat if you still hold on to the tail. My goodness, you could really deep throat that thing. Not to get crazy.
You're getting crazy,
Dave.
but I apprete it.
I
Not
think
to
it
get
comes
crazy.
into play too when you're like, okay, we're gonna order these appetizers. I won't name them, but just say there's 5 of us sitting around and like we'll put in those 3 apps, and then the server's walking away, and you're like, you know what? We'll do a shrimp cocktail too.
Yes.
And then when it comes, it's the first thing. Everybody grabs one. You got your first like your first sip of wine or cocktail or whatever. Mm-hmm. I love a shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, it's a lineman there. I think it's it's there. All right, my next pick, wrapping around here. Before I make it though, Dave, we talked a little bit about finances before. It's such a pain in the ass sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like to get everything ready to go, and some of these companies that they say they want to help out, but you don't really know who to trust, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why Upstart's here, and it's the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment. Upstart knows you're more than just a credit score, and they're expanding access to affordable credit. Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. That's important, right, Dave? They don't just look at the first number they see.
It's insanely important.
With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. You can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/Eddie. That's upstart.com/Eddie, EDDIE. Start being smarter about your debt, people. Upstart's there to help you out. Definitely go check them out. All right, my third rounder, I don't need to take an entree here because all the entrees are taken. So I would be stupid to take one. Mm-hmm. However, I'm going to take a side, but I'm really stuck between 2. But this is tough. This is. I'm at a crossroads, Chief. Do you pick your favorite, or do you pick what you think is you like but is fancier?
I mean, you know my answer.
I know.
You know my answer.
know.
I mean, you're drafting for yourself.
So I'm not going to take my favorite. I'm going to take one I like a lot, but it's fancy as well. I like this, though. It's not like I don't like it. I'm not pulling one whatever, but I'm going to go with Lobster Mac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and because my only problem with Lobster Mac is I feel like the variance is very, very high. Like it ranges big time.
You got to be careful.
Yes.
You got to, yeah.
But if you get a good one, it's money.
Yeah. It's crazy that lobster has become like this delicacy when it used to just be like, well, give the prisoners, we have to keep them alive, give them lobster.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, like maybe like 100,
Chief
200 years ago, like that was considered like the lowest of the low food was lobster.
Really?
And now it's a
They're
delicacy.
bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They're
a
filled
roach.
with like the shit of the ocean.
Yeah.
I figured
Yep.
like
They used to
Yeah.
give them. Did you say they used to give them to prisoners?
Yep.
Yeah.
And in the Bible, it says you're not supposed to eat them.
That's
Really?
why.
Yeah.
That's in the Old Testament, and that's why Jewish people don't eat them because they're a
Correct.
unsavory animal. Is that what? Is
Yeah,
that the
well,
word?
Frankie nailed it. They are bottom feeders. They
Yeah,
just eat the
they're-
shit at the bottom of
right.
the ocean. Yeah. All
Life's all about narratives, huh, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Well, it's like that fucking shark fin soup in China.
yeah.
It's not. It has like no taste. It's like bland, but it's like a status symbol. I don't know if anyone's going to take it, but
Yeah, nah, I
sorry.
would not. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Lobster Mac, like I said, I think it's really good if it's done right. It's hard to do it right, but if you get a good one,
Yep.
it stands big time out at the table. All right, Frank, you're up.
So let me clarify here. We don't need to take one from each category. We just have to
No, you
draft
do.
5
You
out
do.
of the category.
No, you do. You do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Haven't you taken 2? Oh, no, you took a soup and salad. Okay, gotcha. I got confused there. All right, this is maybe early here, but I'm taking an experience.
Ooh.
And I think it's the number one experience that we all kind of realize that we're in a place that we're not usually in. And for me, that's the bathroom attendant. If I need
That's a good one.
you want to talk about fancy, you want to talk about spending money. If I got to tip the guy to go take a piss, which is like the most human thing you can go do, you can do this on the side of the road. You can do this in a water bottle in your car. You can do this anywhere. I have to now go into this place. I have to have a conversation. I have to pay the person just to relieve myself. That's when you know you're in the big leagues. If I see a man standing there in a suit next to some minced gum and he's holding out like a tip jar, I know I'm in the big leagues. So I'm going bathroom attendant.
I typically hate bathroom attendants because
So do I.
I just
Yeah.
don't need them. But there is a difference between a bar bathroom attendant and
Yes.
a nice restaurant
Yes.
bathroom attendant.
Yeah.
Like that bar one, he's got like lifesavers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
a
guy
little bit
has-
of cologne, a little mouthwash.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
You can buy a Lucy cigarette off them.
Yes.
the bar ones. I've had like the day saved a couple times where you go into the bathroom when you're younger and you've had too much and you puke. When that guy's there after you've puked in the bathroom and he kind of pretends that you didn't puke, but then still gives you the mint so you're fresh up to kind of rally, that was always very clutch.
Now I have a lot of experiences here on my list, and I've gone back and forth.
So that
and
was
the only thing that got me going back and forth on bathroom attendant was that exactly what Chief just said, where like a lot of people, especially the voters, are gonna have these college bathroom attendants in their mind, and I don't know if they're gonna think of the bathroom attendant I'm thinking about,
Yeah.
right? Like there's two separpt ones.
Yeah, but everybody feels strongly about the bathroom attendant regardless.
Yeah.
So even if they don't interpret it correctly, people who see that will be like, "Oh yeah, that's
Right.
right." You're like, "Eh."
Snobby.
Yeah. Well, interesting.
Okay.
First experience off the board, and we'll do honorable mention at the end, so you'll be able to say your other ones too. So,
Okay, good.
all right, bathroom attendants off. Chief, you're up.
Burrata salad. So that's my salad. Had to take it. I love burrata. I think everybody knows that by now. If I am ordering a salad, that would be the one. So, and especially if you go to a fancy restaurant, they'll have the bread, they'll have the nice tomatoes. They'll usually have the like high-end olive oil. They might do like a little like marinara sauce sometimes too. There's a place over in Lincoln Park that will like sprinkle in these little like charred meatballs in there too, which is fucking unbelievable. Ricardo Enoteca. And but yeah, I love burrata salad, so that has to be my salad. The soups that I love are off the board, so burrata salad it is. You got a problem, Dave? With your little shit-eating lobster escargot grin?
I mean, no. You can have your burrata salad.
Thanks.
Chief.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to say about this.
Yep, it's been said. It's awesome.
Surprised you got it in the third round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been chaos. See, that's the chaos I didn't want with French onions. That's why I took it early. So
Yeah.
Like if White Sox Dave took it,
that would have been even more chaos than lobster.
would you have been
cargo.
mad if he took burrata? Because is it as fancy? It's fancy. It's good,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and it's on brand with you.
Has
Yeah.
a guest ever come on this show and dropped a bomb like that, where they've tried to sabotage the crew in studio? Like if I took burrata salad, what would that have done?
It would have been.
It would have
I
been
don't-
worse than when Dave asked you about John Tavares.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been done.
Yeah, no.
Everybody
I-
comes on the show, says the first thing that you said today. Thanks for having me. I'm actually really nervous. So I think they're like kind of on tilt from the get-go. And because of that, they don't want to ruffle feathers because they know that we're experts in drafting things. Myself especially.
Okay.
Speaking of that, Dave, you're on the clock.
So, all right, I already know what my experience is going to be, and no one's going to touch it. So I'm going to go with my side. I'm going to go with you guys are going to have to correct me on the proper way to phrase this.
No
But
shit.
the just specific dish is it's roasted Brussels sprouts, garlic Parmesan roasted Brussels sprouts. I mean, that's how they all come. You can word it differently. But just, garlic butter dumped on roasted Brussels sprouts with shaved Parmesan on top for my side. And that's like Brussels sprouts. Like if I were to cook them,
So you're taking Brussels sprouts.
but specifically the garlic.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think it's implied.
Roasted Brussels sprouts,
It's
yeah.
implied.
But at a nice fancy restaurant, you're like, holy fucking shit, these are good. But I can't do that myself.
Yep.
That's how you know you're at like a high end places. You can't even come close to matching the quality.
That's also to me like the mark of like a really good restaurant. Like I only when I'm out to eat, I only order things that I know I can't even come close to at home. Mm-hmm. And I like Brussels sprouts. Wouldn't have been my first pick, but that's a fine pick. Whatever.
Bavets are outstanding.
Yeah.
By the way.
Bavets?
Yeah.
I just had them last week. Yeah, they're
honestly,
fucking unbelievable.
That stole the show like a lobster cargo.
Yeah.
The Brussels sprouts are unreal.
Yeah.
Good pick, right? I don't know. That's a staple.
Yeah, whenever
for
they
sure.
can make something as boring as Brussels
Exactly,
sprouts, like
exactly.
a table conversation, everyone's like, you got to try these Brussels sprouts.
Right.
That's how you know you're at a place that's really, really cooking well.
You know, I feel like it was a thing in the culture when we were kids that Brussels sprouts were gross. Like, oh, it's
Because
the worst
if
thing.
our parents tried to cook them, they'd be fucking gross.
Yeah, and now I feel like what Frankie said, like it's like maybe that's why it's a topic of conversation is because like we were lied to. Like Brussels sprouts
Yeah,
are actually
yeah,
very
good.
good. Yeah.
No, they're
And
awesome.
we probably
The name sounds gross, like to a kid.
Brussels
right,
sprout.
Yeah.
Celery.
Brussels.
Very
Yeah.
vegetable-y.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
Sounds like a guy with a mustache.
Yeah.
Carl, you're up. Appetizer side experience.
Caviar is an appetizer, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
appetizer,
All right,
right?
so that's the number one fancy. I'm gonna take number two fancy appetizer on my board. I can't say it. Foie Gras.
Yep.
Foie gras.
Yeah,
Have you ever had it?
Great pick.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
FOIE
It's so fancy.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think it's like illegal.
oh yeah, it's like ethically.
Well, because it's a goose.
They stuff the duck's
From its
stomach
liver.
With sugar.
liver.
Yeah, and it's goose though, right? Not a duck.
It's duck or goose.
Oh, it
It's
can be
either.
both?
What do
Okay.
you know about
Yeah.
it, Frankie?
It's a liver pate, right? Is that
Yes.
Is that
yeah.
sometimes,
But
yes.
yeah, they shove like simple syrup down their throats, like forever,
horrifying.
and then they just kill them and eat the liver. So gross.
Yeah. Thinly sliced, you can get it.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's.
See, I don't mind that.
I've actually never had it.
I don't mind that.
It's fancy as shit.
Yeah,
It's an
it
appetizer,
definitely
too?
is. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a. It shows up on the menu as like a starter.
Where could you get it from if it's illegal?
Dude, they used to sell it.
I mean, they're still.
There's
let's
like a
see.
big I shouldn't say investigation, but there was an article in the maybe Tribune or Sun Times about a restaurant on Southport that was like serving it off the menu, and like
Oh,
someone went in
really?
and was like, "Yeah, they're still serving it," and then people protested it.
So-
but like you can still get it at restaurants. I
Yeah,
think.
you can. And this is a thing from I just googled foie gras, and is foie gras illegal in the United States? On November 25th, 2019, New York City stepped up to protect ducks by banning the sale of foie gras, set to take effect in 2022. The ban will prohibit products of force feeding from being sold and served in the city restaurants. So I think it might be a regional thing, and there are many places in Chicago that list it, but it's just not.
Foie gras.
Foie
All right,
gras,
Carl, you're
yeah.
up again.
Ed, I hate to do it to you, but I think you took the less fancy mac and cheese. I'm gonna take truffle mac and cheese.
Okay.
So that's like that just instantly triples the price of mac and cheese. Truffles to me is basically just like a small thing that tastes like mushrooms that people jack the price up, and I guess they're hard to find. But if you have them, they're utterly fucking delicious. Truffles,
Oh yeah.
truffle sauce.
Yep.
Truffle anything.
Truffle fries.
Truffle
Like
fries.
gets,
fries,
I
yeah.
want if
Yeah.
we're having a fancy drive too. I just love the word truffle on the board. Like yeah, I've
Pretty
got,
salty,
It does.
right?
I've got
you
a
know what?
truffle thing.
It does sound fancy. You're right. Truffle.
Truffle aioli.
I could eat
Very good.
aioli like
Thank
soup.
you, Dave.
It is the most delicious thing on earth. Any kind of it.
Now I like mashed potatoes. I like a bunch of other sides too.
Yeah.
But I
Fancy?
think truffled mac and cheese
fancy.
is like, well, I got it. How do
Truffle
I
in round 4. You got a good veteran at the towards the end of this draft. There, truffle is one of the more fancy words you can think
It
of.
is. Yep.
They've got dogs sniffing for truffle in like the hills of Italy and
Yeah,
pigs
it's like an
and stuff.
event. It's like an event.
It's an
Ooh, we're
event.
going
Yeah.
truffle
I think
hunting.
is there a movie with Nicolas Cage where he has like a truffle
Yes.
pig?
Yes. Yes.
I think it's
I didn't
called,
even
like,
hear what
Pig.
you were gonna say, but yes.
White Sox
It just
Dave,
came
our
out.
cinephile, is a huge Nicolas Cage fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not huge. I would say I think he's funny.
Who's better,
Yeah.
Denzel Washington or Nicolas Cage?
At what?
Acting.
Denzel, absolutely. Nicolas
At
Cage is
what?
an objectively horrible actor. But
what?
I mean, but Nicolas Cage
Basketball.
is also
Ping pong.
no. I mean, what,
What?
you're not listening to me.
Debate speeches.
I probably Nicolas Cage is objectively a better actor, but Nicolas Cage is so bad he's good, and that makes him like endearing and entertaining. Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm drawn to him.
All right, truffle mac and cheese off the board. At what?
Sorry.
White Sox Dave, you're up.
All right, I'm going to go with my experience, and if any one of you three, not including Frankie, give me shit about this, I will take it to the grave that you're lying. But I'm going to go with acting like you know the wine menu for my experience. We're all blue-collar guys. You know, we like to get gritty and our hands dirty, pounding concrete and steel on our spare time. I don't know a fucking thing about wine, but if I go into a nice fancy restaurant where I know I'm dropping a couple $100 plus on a meal, I'm going to act like I'm an expert with that wine menu. Oh, is this aged? Like, should I go with the red? Should I go with the white?
Oh,
Shit
that's
like
a good
that.
year. That's a good year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Really good
the,
pick.
The Pinot Noirs from Oregon.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
They're the best. Oh, this
They're
got a
smooth.
hint of cranberry in it.
You know, they had those forest
Yeah.
fires, which really reset the pH in the soil. So now this year is really good. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's-
Shit like that.
Yep.
I think
And,
you can
uh,
expand that to just acting like you know really anything like the waiter or waitress or the server just says to you, right?
Yeah.
Like those specials in the beginning or the way that they cook the meal, you're just constantly head nodding and you're
Yep.
giving them oohs and ahs. Half the time you don't know what the hell they're saying.
Right,
They're
yeah,
talking
right,
about
right.
like what pairs with what, and you're like, kind of just want like a Miller Light. Like,
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know,
exactly.
it's just-
Yeah.
Like I was drinking fucking vodka sodas. Actually, I did get one Manhattan at
Yep.
Bavette's last week.
Yep. You order that lobster escargot, then pretend like
Yeah,
you
I
know what
don't-
you want for the wine, and you're good
Exactly.
To go.
I don't think anyone was going to give a shit on that.
I
No, that's a
thought
good
Chief
one.
and Carl might. I didn't think you would. I thought you would be like.
I
you know
have
wines.
a similar one on my menu.
I mean, I think it's I don't know if it's completely in line though with like the theme of the draft is like fancy stuff. So like you're saying a fancy experience is like you're out of place basically with the wine.
Oh, I mean, at any time I'm at a restaurant this nice, I'm pretty out of place personally. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, no. I
yeah,
mean,
no, I
fair
thought
enough,
that was
yeah.
a good pick. I thought it was a
Totally.
good pick.
You belong.
So is that the official pick, being out of place? Or
No,
is that
it's
specific
acting
to the
like-
wine list?
Pretending
Acting-
to know the wine menu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you're a sommelier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Chief, you're up.
Okay, I'll take an appetizer, and I think this is probably my favorite appetizer, but just like a great crab cake, like a crab cake that's like flaky and breaded. Like that's another one that's usually on the menu at steakhouses. Swift and Sons has a good one.
Another one that has the variances all over the place.
Yeah, but like
But when you get a good one, it's awesome.
it's awesome.
Another problem is hard to share.
Oh, I don't share those. I feel like when you go to,
You know what I mean? Though,
Yeah.
like you're like it's like
I'll get back to this in maybe a different, maybe in the next round or maybe honorable mention. But yeah, I agree that they can be difficult to share, but I also think that you're like, why are you sharing a lump crab cake? I feel like those are a single serve.
Table cakes? You get 2 jumbo cakes?
Yeah, if you get
Yeah,
two,
4 people. I could split that with a fork.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
especially if they are like the ones that are maybe a little bit bigger than a hockey puck, like they're a little bit thicker and a little bit bigger, then those are the king ones.
I love crab cakes. I took them in our appetizer draft, and I'll say crab cakes from a texture standpoint completely
They're
stand alone.
Delicious.
I'm
Yeah.
a fan.
You
Yep.
cannot find that texture anywhere else. You bite into a crab cake, it's like, what does this taste? No, the only thing that feels like is a fucking crab cake, pal.
I'm a fan. And it had to be. It was one of those that was going to get drafted, and it's on the board. Mm-hmm.
Is it weird that Baltimore owns the crab cake?
Is that just?
I
the
think
Wedding
Maryland, the
Crashers?
state in general,
Like they're
does.
real proud of their crab cakes, right, Frankie? Are they?
I
think
feel
so.
like that's
Yeah.
a thing, and I don't think it's just from the movie.
Yeah. See,
you're
like
right.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying because
yeah.
I know that's a line from Wedding Crashers,
Right.
but like they're actually that's a real.
I think it's
thing.
actually true. Yeah.
interesting.
I went like if you go to like I went to a wedding in DC and everyone's like, oh yeah, we got to go to this place for the crab cakes, and there's great crab cakes everywhere. So I think that is definitely
Part of it.
a thing. Like going to Boston and getting lobster, like because they just bring it right down from Maine. It's like the same
Yeah.
type of thing.
All right, crab cake off the board. Frank, you're up.
I'm gonna go with the salad. A couple of these soups and salad have been taken off the board. But this one, to me, is a real sign of being at a fancy place. It's a Caesar salad that has the anchovies on it. So you know that you have that classic Caesar. It's usually a nice creamy Caesar anchovy paste type of dressing. You can get it at any place. It comes with the meal usually. But when you order that expensive Caesar salad, it's got the shaved Parmesan cheeses on it. But you see those long, slimy anchovies on it. You're like, oh, fuck. It's always like an oh fuck moment because you just wanted a Caesar. And you're at such a fancy high-end place that they had to throw anchovies on it. That's my pick. It's happened to me multiple times where I'm like, fucking, I should have known. I just should have known.
Yeah.
So again, you ordered something that you don't really like.
But I love Caesar salad.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
But my idea of being at a fancy restaurant is when they put the anchovies on.
You're
it.
absolutely right about that.
Call that.
Yes,
that off
that's
fuck
absolutely
is,
right. Yeah.
That off fuck is real. Like I don't.
Because like I there may
This
be
$22
I may
Caesar
not
that
like
they
anything
ruined.
more than a Caesar salad. I love Caesar salads.
Yeah.
And
That's a
it's
good
just
pick.
like we always have to dress it up like a Caesar's a Caesar. Let's just get on our way.
Let's keep it that. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I
So
like
what's
it.
your pick?
Caesar-
An anchovy Caesar salad?
Caesar salad with
Caesar
anchovies?
with anchovies on it.
Yeah.
Good pick.
I like it. All right, back to me. I got 2 picks. I need entree and I need an experience. I mean, I'm going to take the last cut of meat left, which is a filet.
Yep.
It's such a good pick. Or it's such a good steak, I should say. It's just the portion size doesn't do it for me.
That's going to be one like how did you get filet in the 4th round? Like that's going to be the feedback from people. The fillets are awesome. It's just not like
It's like 3 bites of meat. That's why I never will get a filet.
yeah, but they are
But they're objectively incredible.
So good.
Yeah, they're so good.
yeah.
There's variants on them too, though. Like I could say that. Like some, like
A wedding fillet is always weird to me.
Yeah.
That's just like a
Yeah.
amalgamation of it's
Sometimes-
like a ham loaf.
I was at a wedding
I still like those.
like
Sometimes
6
Yeah,
they're
weeks
still
ago or
good.
so.
I'll still eat those things.
I don't know, maybe mid-June, late June. And I swear to God, all wedding meals are the same. But for this particular one, whatever company catered it, it was one of the best fillets I've ever had.
there you go.
Unbelievable fillet. Like I told the groom afterwards, I'm like, dude, that's the best wedding meal I've ever had.
What was his response?
He's like, that's the feedback we're getting from everybody. He's like, everybody's saying that.
I love it, Dave. I love
And it was just
I
like
love
a
that
normal
pick,
standard
Eddie.
suburban
Although
wedding.
I've been talking recently with our foreplay crew that whenever we go out to a steak dinner, I'll always just get a filet, and I feel like every filet is similar in the fact that they all taste decent or good, but you're really ordering a filet for the consistency. It's like that
Yes.
nice soft chew. It's a little bit more bleeding. But like, man, I've been starting to just change my order. Like my go-to is a filet, and I'm like, I need a little bit more flavor. So now I'll
Same.
start getting like New York strips because it has a little bit more fat, and you can start getting them like charred on the outside and
Which
maybe
is
like a little
awesome.
bit crusted.
Yep.
Like I'm starting to move away from the filet because I want more flavor than I do consistency. If that makes any sense.
Frank, I swear to God, you could ask producer Tom. I'm in the same boat right now.
You
Like, it's
announced
like-
that you gave up on fillets.
I did.
You said you
I-
retired.
I
from
got to a
fillets.
point where I was like, man, I have to start. Like, I was just getting a
Expanding your
little
horizons.
disappointed
We've
with the
talked about
flavor.
that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, the flavor was just lacking a little bit for my liking.
It's crazy that it's like the most expensive and most tender cut of meat, but that's typically the cut of meat that you'll add like a béarnaise sauce to. Like you'll add like
Right.
something to give it
Right,
like what
right,
Frankie's
right.
saying, like a little bit more flavor, and
Yeah.
béarnaise sauce would be probably my sauce for.
Yeah, like I was
yeah,
kind of
or
disappointed with the
gorgonzola.
Vet's filet. Like it was, I didn't.
I bet you that bone and ribeye was nice though.
I know. I was like, man,
Yeah.
that was the day I got it. I was like, this is supposed to be the best steakhouse in the city, and I was like, kind of disappointed with it. I don't know, but
I'm not gonna, Eddie. I've sent one meal back in my entire life. I'm not gonna say the restaurant.
Yeah,
You were
well-
there with me.
it was not the first time of your life.
I swear to God, I never have.
All right. Regardless, all right, we got to keep
it
moving.
overdone?
Frankie's got 10 minutes.
Brown in the middle.
Ew.
But yeah, filet. I still get them too, by the way.
Same.
I want
know,
the
I just
record to
can't- I
show
can't quit 'em.
that my pick of porterhouse has both a ribeye cut and a filet cut, and you're getting the best of both.
All right,
worlds.
sampler fire.
Thank you, Dave. All right, I need an
That has
experience.
nothing to do with it.
My last pick.
Nice try.
I am always perpetually amused and fired up, and like think it's the coolest thing ever the guy who sweeps the crumbs, the crumb sweeper.
Oh,
It's a good one.
yeah,
that is a good
the
one.
little tool.
Yep.
When he comes in, it's like, now I know I'm in a place where I'm living.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like this guy came over and he picked up what dropped on the table.
I had that top 5.
Did you?
That's a great one. My only criticism of that is that when he does that, and especially like after the bread portion, I feel like a 4-year-old because I have just made a giant mess around my plate like a fucking child, and this guy is here like my mom to clean up after it. So, but it is a great touch. It's a great pick, but it does make me feel like a baby.
Yeah. But it's awesome.
It's great.
It's
yeah.
like,
No,
yeah,
I love
get
that.
up
I
there.
love that pick.
Because you have the bread and there's crumbs going everywhere, and you're like, oh shit! And then the guy comes out of nowhere with that perfect utensil. Just it's every bite. It feels like he's right there.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
What do you utensil? What do you? I gotta get one. I
Yeah.
want one for home.
Yeah.
Guy who sweeps the crumbs. Frankie, your final pick. I think you need an.
So I need a side.
Yeah, you need a side.
I'm gonna go with a staple here. It's usually my go-to when I'm ordering a steak, along with the mashed potatoes. This is a creamed spinach. It's
Awesome.
gonna be my order as a side. I fucking love creamed spinach.
Me too.
It's so good.
It's not something I would ever even know or think about to make on my own. It's something that I'll just order at really expensive steakhouses, and when it comes, you're like, boy, is this just a treat. It's spinach, but it's just so much more unhealthy for you, and it's so good.
And like I've actually tried to make that at home because I'll do like a steamed spinach or like you just cook it down in olive oil, but I can't you can't get the consistency right that they do at the fancy restaurants with the cream spinach. So that is a very, very good pick.
And it's a staple too. Like Brussels sprouts and cream spinach. That's the those are the cornerstones, I think, to the green game.
Yeah.
On the table.
Yep.
Good pick. All right, Chief.
So I have an experience here too. The one I really want, I feel like is too close to Dave's, so I'm gonna ignore that. But I love at a fancy restaurant when they bring out like the cart and they're like, "Would you like us to plate your food for you?" And it's like, absolutely, I would. You divvy up the appetizers, you put the sides because it comes like almost kind of family style, and then they dish it out to you, and like you don't have to worry about like anything. Like it's just perfectly plated.
And it looks
the
like a
presentation's
piece
great.
of art.
Yeah, and they just bring.
And if
like,
you tried to do it,
I would.
absolutely
when they plate
not
your
shot.
food.
They would have to
Yeah.
call the crumb guy back over
Exactly.
if I tried to do it. So if they, the way they do it, where they plate it for you,
Yes.
is like it's just like absolutely. Please put all the food on my plate for me.
When they plate your food.
Yeah.
That's good. White Sox Dave.
So
What do you need left?
I got a super salad.
Yeah.
I wanted just a Caesar salad. Can I take that?
I don't think so. No.
No. Then I'm just gonna go with the garden salad. Like the salad, no matter how nice a restaurant is, like the salad, I don't think has to be part of the nice experience. It's just a little, get the beak wet type first thing you eat.
I'm fine. Give me the garden salad.
Yeah, give me the
prefer
garden
it.
salad. I would have gone Caesar salad
I
without
think-
anchovies because that just sounds disgusting. But
But it's not nice enough, is what you're gonna say?
No, I think that there's a better, more classic kind of steakhouse salad.
of
out
course,
there.
this is what
Do
I
you know
would
what I'm
order,
talking
though.
about?
Yes, yes.
You want to say it?
No.
Does Carl have a salad? He does not.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not. I
Oh, you
need
have soup.
experience.
Yeah.
Well, let's do
okay.
that. Let's do that. All right, garden salad off the board. Throw away last pick might hurt you, Dave. But Carl, Mr. Irrelevant.
Chief, why didn't you take it?
Take what?
What you wanted to take? You said
When?
it was too close to Dave's.
Yeah.
Do you think it is?
I don't know.
You and I are on the exact same page
Okay.
about this.
Then yeah, I depending on how let's just say it. No.
Well, I mean, I think a cornerstone of a fancy restaurant is you're sitting there. You sit down, and somebody comes up, and he's really well dressed or she's really well dressed, and it's like, "Good evening, I'm Robert. I'm the sommelier for the house," and they fucking treat you like you are the most important. Oh, you don't have any dumb questions. But I think that's really close to what Dave is.
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying, sommeliers? Or no?
Sommelier, but then also like the uncorking of it, where they give you like that little ounce, and you're like you stick your nose in, you smell it, you swish it around, and you're like, oh yeah, this is actually good, but you don't really fucking know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah,
Can't tell
so
the
like I was
difference
gonna,
between Franzi and
I
that.
didn't know how to properly like the sommelier experience, which is to me like a big part of that is the uncorking, where you're like, they smell the cork, oh yeah, this is good, swish it around your mouth, and be like, yeah, give them the thumbs up. That's delightful.
Like, are you guys satisfied with this?
Yeah,
Like,
it's great. Thank you.
So I do like that. I just don't, if that's too close to Dave's, like I have a worse pick. I think that's a good pick, but I have a worse pick.
I mean, I wouldn't veto, but I
So it's like just like the
There's a guy walking around
yeah, sommelier. Yeah.
who's like, hey,
He's like the wine expert, right? And usually every fancy restaurant has one or two, and they know they're like an encyclopedia of wine. So like the thing where Dave's pretending, you don't need to do that because this guy holds your hand through like the whole
that's why I
process.
was confused because
Yeah.
like if you're at a fancy restaurant, you really should never be confused because you can just they'll just send some fucking guy over there
Yeah.
who's like, yeah, I spent 10 years in France.
Right. And so I guess the way I was thinking of it was that like the one little sipper taste and smell, like that experience where you swirl it around. But that is kind of, to me in my head, coupled with the sommelier because he's the one who told you get it, and then you have to confirm that the thing that he picked is
yeah,
good.
it's good.
Yeah.
So I think it's you like the sommelier recommending wine.
Or you can just put having a sommelier.
just
Having the
presence
sommelier,
of a
yeah.
sommelier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Extremely fancy.
Yeah.
presence of a sommelier. Good pick.
Good pick.
Mr. Relevant. All right, real quick, we'll run it down. We'll do some honorable mentions and we'll get out of here, Frankie. Sorry.
No, that's fine. We don't have to rush too much. It seems like it's getting a little pushback. So
Okay.
take your time.
All right. Eddie, French onion soup, shrimp cocktail, lobster mac, filet, guy who sweeps the table crumbs. Frankie, caviar, wagyu beef, bathroom attendant, Caesar salad with anchovies, cream spinach, chief bone and ribeye, mashed potatoes, burrata salad, crab cake when they plate your food. White Sox Dave, porterhouse, lobster cargo, Brussels sprouts, pretending to know the wine menu, garden salad, Carl, lobster bisque, surf and turf, foie gras. Did I say that right?
Foie gras.
Foie gras.
Yeah.
Truffle mac and cheese, presence of a sommelier. Any soup and salad honorable mentions here?
Yeah, I would say the one that I was thinking of would be just like an iceberg wedge.
The wedge. Yeah.
So like that to me, like I think of going as a little kid, like that was like my grandpa would get an old fashioned and iceberg wedge, and that's how we would start off.
It's
like
just it's just way too much. Like it's like you're eating a steak salad.
I kind of like that though.
I don't
you're-
like that
Like you're
personally.
cutting.
hacking away.
Yeah, you
Like-
need a steak
I
knife
love,
for
I
it.
love
do.
it. I love it.
And I
love
still-
it.
You
Crumbled
love
blue
the wedge?
cheese.
Yep. And
I think it's the best name in salads too.
for sure.
Give me
And
a
then
wedge.
and you got the bacon on there and the
get the
wedge.
wedge.
Yeah, and it comes out and it like looks like, how did you cut that into a fucking pyramid? It's a ball, and they cut it. You know, like so. I love a good wedge salad.
Frankie, I feel like
I had
minestrone.
beet salad. I had a beet salad as one of mine.
Okay.
Just because it's something I would never order. I've seen beets. It reminds me more of like I'm picturing a nice daytime fancy restaurant where they're almost the only option you have is a beet salad.
Okay.
But I never would have picked it. But that was definitely on one of my honorable mentions.
I do a salad draft. I like an arugula lemon salad,
Ooh,
but
I
it's
love
not.
arugula.
I love
It's not
arugula.
fancy enough.
Yeah.
It's cheap, but it's like the best salad, I think.
Yep.
I love arugula.
Well, parm.
Yep.
Yeah, I said Italian wise, minestrone, whatever.
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
Yeah.
We
tomato
didn't have
bisque.
any
Do you like that?
pasta entrees.
No,
not
I think we all
fancy
kind of went like steakhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it looks
I was
like.
gonna go Italian on the appetizer. I was gonna go carpaccio.
Oh,
it is-
nice.
And I hit it too hard with the caviar. I really couldn't. I couldn't come back. I would have got had I not gone caviar number one and someone taken it. I would have gotten carpaccio, maybe round two.
I'm stunned about one that didn't go.
Which one?
No calamari is interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And we're
Yeah.
not talking fried calamari, right?
No, just
Where it looks
However
like
you
a
like it.
fucking.
It's just too middle America appetizer
Yeah.
though. Like
I-
it's on everybody's fucking menu.
Yeah.
And
It's so good though. I love getting it at.
I do like calamari.
Yeah, La Scarola does this.
Oysters
calamari
is
very
another
well.
one that I debated between.
Yep.
and
Fresh
especially if it's oysters Rockefeller. If you're gonna say Rockefeller
Yeah,
too for a
that-
fancy
that
draft, you
adds
throw
to it,
Rockefeller
too.
on
Yeah.
the fucking.
I
There we go.
have I've always, and the guys out here will know what I'm talking about. You won't, Frankie, but I've always talked about how I don't really like seafood, and every single time I try seafood, I'm like, oh, this is fucking delicious. I never tried seafood until we went to the La Scarola, or not seafood,
Calamari.
oysters.
Oh.
because I'm like, that looks like snot. I'm not touching that.
We had it at like Deuces, remember? Like way back when?
Nah, I don't remember that.
You guys got fucking oysters at Deuces?
Jesus
Deuce.
Christ.
No.
Oh,
no.
Deucex.
Yeah,
Oh, I
you were
thought
there.
In Pilsen.
Yeah, in Pilsen.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Did
place
you-
you trust. I thought you meant Deuces and Diamonds.
No.
Which
You
is
were-
a
you were
bar
at-
in Wrigleyville.
Yeah, I was like,
no.
dude, what? You're
With
getting-
like a swimming pool in it.
You're
so
just
no,
slamming 6 oysters next to the fucking swimming pool?
This guy's so horny. What's in aphrodisiac?
No wonder why Dave
Deuce
doesn't
and
like
Pilsen.
it.
Deuce and Pilsen.
Deucex is fucking great.
Which I ordered the rabbit as an entree there to give you a little.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll get you going too.
I don't
Rabbit's
remember
a
this at all.
Big time aphrodisiac. Yeah, we
Maybe it was Dante was there and you weren't.
Well, I was
This
just
is in,
about
like,
to shout out
2018.
Dante. His Uproar in Old Town has awesome oysters.
Really?
Awesome oysters.
There you go.
hand shucked.
Hand shucked, and he gets them from both coasts, which I guess makes a difference. And when you get them together on the same
Wow.
thing,
Both coasts.
then you're like, I'm gonna have a
try
couple.
one from
you know?
Washington.
Yeah,
He's the,
exactly.
He's the pit bull of oysters. He's coast to coast. Okay.
Any other appetizers? Sausage and pepper is not fancy enough, I guess.
That's
Come
not
on.
really an appetizer, though.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
We should do
but-
an old
at-
school
at
Italian
La
dinner
Scarola,
draft.
yeah.
And no,
Shit.
it definitely is.
Frankie, you
but
want to come
like,
back for that one?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that.
Main entree, honorable mention.
I mean,
The lamb.
all the pasta,
The lamb too. Like I love
Yeah.
the lamb
rigatoni,
chops,
briola.
Veal,
yeah.
Dicka's got a good pork
Veal.
chop.
they do.
Yep.
I don't.
So say
I don't
any
tend to
a
go.
fish with a head on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
Well,
Italian?
asso boot or what's the
No, Branzini.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
so
Yeah.
I went to our buddy Joe Flam's restaurant maybe a month ago, and got the Branzini, and it was quite nice. The fish, you're plucking the meat off the bones. It was very
Yep.
nice. Yep.
Halibut.
Halibut's
Halibut's
so
great.
good.
Yeah.
I've had halibut.
I got
No,
that.
no. I didn't.
We went to dinner in Vegas, me, Frankie, and Dave was impressed with our halibut. Do you remember that, Frankie? He was like,
Yes.
It's a good choice. I was like, oh.
Here's a
Halibut's
here's
great.
a
I
deal,
impressed the rich guy.
an entree that Dave loves to order, and I think you ordered that night is sea scallops. And Dave calls them
Scallops are
scallops. Dave calls them scallops. To the point where Dave actually says scallops so much that I would say scallops just to make him think that that's how you pronounced it at the table.
It's like an emperor
remember
has
having-
no clothes situation here. You're just gonna let him go
just
around
scallops.
prep. Yeah.
I mean, it's scallops, but yeah, scallops are
Yeah.
super expensive, and you only get those 4 little circles on your plate, and you're like, man, this is just not gonna fill me up, but
Yeah.
it's so good.
That is something I've mastered at home. It's doing scallops on the stove top.
A nice pan seared scallop.
I don't
Yep.
think that would be too difficult.
It's you have to like turn them and pull them at the exact right time, otherwise they get super rubbery. But yeah, that scallops are a good one too.
That's one of those things. How did they figure out to eat those?
I wonder that all the time.
Like, how long did
Yeah.
it take for those guys to be sitting around the scales and be like, I think we got this figured out?
What is a scallop?
It's like
It's like a
I know what
It's
it
a-
is. Like,
It looks
Yeah.
like a shell.
Yeah, it's a crustacean.
Is
Like,
it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
like I wasn't
I
sure
didn't
what it
really
looked
know
like
either.
alive. I know what it looks like in the case of Jewel. in
Yeah,
Mariano's.
but that's like and also like they're at the bottom. So like
Yeah.
like
Shit
our
food.
guys like diving like
no.
cavemen
You
like
know what?
diving down.
That's what it was. Because you can eat anything if you prepare it right for the most part. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's exceptions to that rule. But some dude, some genius, decided, you know what?
Gonna get these.
I'm just gonna set a bunch of fucking traps out because I mean I've gone crabbing off my grandparents' dock out in New Jersey. You send it, you cast this trap, use bunker, which is just shit fish.
It's easy.
You trap it, pull it out 5 minutes later, you have 30 crabs in there. It's the easiest thing on earth. And you're like, we're gonna sell this to all these fucking rich assholes. I mean, these lobsters cost nothing, and we're gonna charge them $50 for one of their tails. It's just a genius business idea. Someone
you
did
go.
that a couple hundred years ago. Whatever.
Highway
Smart.
robbery.
Yep.
Sides.
Asparagus, grilled
Yeah,
asparagus,
asparagus, yeah.
broccoli, like all the vegetables. Like I would have had a few vegetables ahead of the Brussels sprouts. Like I like asparagus better. I like the broccoli.
The one I was between was I really like au gratin.
I was
Potatoes
get-
au gratin is
Delicious.
it is
Yeah,
so
I was
fucking
really
Absolutely
between that
delicious.
and lobster mac.
I was
love
gonna-
That was what I was
You
in
just
between
went-
with truffle mac and au gratin.
Really?
Yeah, my mom makes those like so well for Christmas. every year.
I even like the shitty boxed version of a grand
Dude, yeah,
potatoes.
they're-
You
I
can
don't
get
think
for
I've
like
ever
$2.
had
I
that.
know it's crazy, but
What about the
They're good, yeah.
lyonnaise? Is that the lyonnaise potatoes? You know the little circle ones?
Yeah,
The little patties.
Yeah, no, I know what you.
They-
Those are similar. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty
So
similar.
like a cheesy potato. Like that's kind of
I
what
was
I'm
thinking-
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
here. It's hard to fuck that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking of going garlic mashed potatoes for my side and still before going with the Brussels sprouts. Would that have counted?
No. I'll give you mashed
Gotta
potatoes for lobster.
We don't.
escargot.
I just quickly, I forgot to say, I just want to shout out dry aged steak. It's one of those things where if you don't know what it is and then you try it, it's a completely different type of steak, and that's something I think people enjoy, and I just want to give respect and shout out dry aged steak.
Tried steak.
Twice
One of the
baked.
last ones that I was going to throw out was in Succession or Billions. One of those two shows, they eat this thing where they put the fucking, they put the napkin over their heads and they like secretly
Oh, it's
crunch
like a
on this
bird
little,
or something, right?
like a bird. That
Yeah.
would have been one of my answers, but it's so far out of my league. I don't even know what the name is.
Yeah.
But that is like, I think, an illegal and like most expensive thing you can eat at a restaurant.
I've seen
apparently.
it from an old Anthony Bourdain episode. He ate it too. I can't
Right.
remember. I can't remember where he was though. But yeah. That's
Right.
a good. I don't know what it's called either, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're
Experience.
talking about.
I've never
Like
heard
the
of it.
bones are so like small that you just eat the whole.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
like you just
crazy.
Eat
chomp
this
it.
like little duck or something, and
It's like a
put
little, like
they
this-
put the napkin over
Yeah.
their face because they don't want to see each other eat it. You're supposed to like
and it also
enjoy.
sprays out. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But the bird
Or-
is like
or
3 inches
bones?
tall. Yeah.
Ortolan.
Or Tolan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
It was
Tolan.
in Billions and Succession.
Both.
Yeah.
Good call, Frankie. Like I said, Twice Baked had to shout that out too.
Yeah, I love twice bake.
Yeah.
I love a twice bake.
It's the best.
And then
All
any,
potatoes are
any
potatoes
experiences?
So
are
I
the
d-
most unbelievable food there is. You can eat them in all forms: breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Spoken like a small dick Irish guy.
I love potatoes.
You have a problem over there, Ed? Okay, I'll just run. Here's my experience. This was I had the most fun with this in the research part. A piano player in a dark room. Okay, that's a home run for me. A fixed menu. When you sit down, they're like, "Here's the menu," and you're like,
that's good.
What
Yeah.
is this?" There's like, "No, this is the menu, and it's $250 a head." When you sit down, there's already so many fucking utensils at the table, and you're just like immediately
I was
intimidated
thinking
by
that
like,
for,
wait a
like-
second, why are there 4 forks?
Like on
Yeah.
Titanic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this little spoon is for the caviar Frankie ordered for the
I
table.
had,
and then the last
Exactly.
one is, and I didn't want to draft this because I thought this would be cheap, but like literally, here's an experience going to a fancy restaurant, spending a fuck ton of money you don't have.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And that bill
Yeah.
comes, you're like, $471. Like, I feel like I got to take a shit now.
And then you throw another, 120 on top of that for the tip, and then you're,
all right, well,
you're
that's a
fucked.
night. That's a night out. Yeah.
So those were my experiences. I think fancy dining experiences, that's fun.
The one I had that didn't go mention was the hot towels and lemon.
Okay,
Oh, that's a good one too.
it's good. Frankie, what was your other one? That
I
bathroom
had
attendant lost to?
candles lit on the table.
Yeah.
A candle at table. I went real generic. I just said linen tablecloths. Like you just know you're in a nice place when you have linen tablecloths.
Yeah.
Filling your water glass every time you sip the water. This is like it's almost similar to the guy with the crumbs, but man, I've been to a place where every time you take a sip of water, that guy is refilling it to the point where it can't get below half.
Yeah.
His job will not last unless it's filled. And then in similar vein, my last one is getting your napkin refolded into whatever shape it was every time
yeah.
you go
That's
to
great.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I was gonna
That's a good
put that as my number one experience, but I didn't know how to like fit that into
Right,
like
it's
a graphic
wordy.
or something. Like
That's-
getting your napkin filled every time you refolded every time you go to the bathroom. So, but like it's magic.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one time where I was being an asshole and I was trying to see how much they would do it. Like I would take a phone call and and every time it was just redone.
That's
Better come
great.
do it.
I would. Another experience I have where you walk in and like the waiters are dressed nicer than anything in your closet.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so I think
Like
that,
three-piece suits.
Right. Yeah.
What about limoncello shots?
Yeah, like a nice
Yeah.
little,
And then the lemon sort.
Digestion shot.
Yeah. Aperitif, I think that's called.
Yeah,
And
Coffee at the end.
yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
And then I've only had this happen once in my life, and I can't remember where it was, but they would bring out between your appetizer and your entree, they would bring out a lemon sorbet to
Yeah,
cleanse
yeah.
your palate, because you don't want
Cleanse the
to. If
palate.
you had the lobster escargot, you don't want to have any remnants of that in your mouth when you're going in for your ribeye. So they like want your palate cleansed.
That's
but
great.
I've only
So
seen
good.
that one time in person.
So I think it only makes sense if so this is out on Monday, if this week we try and find a place in Chicago that has as many of these things that we just drafted on the menu, and we can go through and review them.
yeah. My only thing was just filling up on bread. I don't know. It's like part
Yeah.
of me, like,
I
it's
love
like,
bread.
Geez, what the fuck?
Well, when they take the bread and they place it on your plate,
Yeah.
you don't even have an option. Or
Yeah.
the salted butter. It's
Salted
just
or
that
like a
stick
whipped.
of butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
Oh,
the
man.
room temperature. That has to be like melted, like somewhat melted butter. And then if it's whipped butter too, I feel like that's
That's a
nice.
difference?
Yeah.
How
An
about a place
exposed
that's so?
wine cellar.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice.
You
You
said
said a place
exposed
that's
wine
so
cellar?
nice you can't even like the thought of ordering steak sauce would get you kicked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That should
Yep.
always be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. This is it. We'd be remiss
Did we
too.
talk
Is there
about
any-
market pricing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Just
a good one.
there's
too.
there's no price. It's just MP, and you don't even care.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nightmare. It's like, and you don't want to be the fucking guy to ask.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You
Never-
whisper to the guy, like, as your girl's in the bathroom, like, dude,
Yeah.
what's the fucking price of this thing? Please.
Come on.
I gotta make some phone calls.
What's tuna tartar trading at right now?
I got a lot riding on this market price.
I got a couple phone calls to make.
All right, Frankie, thank you. I'd be remiss. Is there anything we didn't get to? I feel like at the Dave dinners are like an interesting point of conversation. Was there like a certain experience, or it just kind of all blends in now?
No, I think they all sort of blended. I think also going with Dave, you've been with him enough where like he kind of like owns the experience because he'll order for the table and he'll kind of get the appetizers going. He'll say like what he thinks is a good entree. You kind of just go with the flow.
That's a
It's
big
always,
alpha
like,
move.
but it always like ends up being the best meal you've had in months. Because
Yeah.
like I never would have thought to order that, like the Wagyu stuff at Catch or something in Vegas. Like you wouldn't be ordering that with your buddies. So
Yeah, and he lets you have say too. Like if he's
Totally.
yeah. Like I'll throw this into it. Like all right, yeah, throw it in.
Yeah.
Dave's he's like the best like dinner guest of all time because of that. It's like there's nothing off the menu that like everything on the menu you can get
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Frankie, thank you a lot. We appreciate it. I think
thanks
you
for
did all
having
right,
me.
man. I think you did all right.
He's got a good
Yeah, I'll
board.
be nervous.
He's got the
I'll be
fanciest board, I
nervous.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how people take it. So thanks again, guys. Big fans of the show and looking forward to coming back. We'll have to do an Italian one night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm looking forward to Borelli's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Borelli's.
When are you guys back in New York?
this football season.
Probably.
Yeah, I would
assume-
assume at some
assume
point,
football
yeah.
will be back.
All
I
right,
mean,
we'll
could
get
be
it
next
going.
Monday for all. I know.
Yeah.
For all we
We
know,
always
you
find
know.
out like less than a week before. So.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
everybody.
see you guys.
That's it, Frankie. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.